I love your books. I love the way you write about history.
Thank you.
And you choose your subjects very carefully. Now, Lafayette, this incredibly important French character who many people may not know much about. But
somebody should write a book about it.
Someone should write a book about
Yes.
it, is my point. And he plays a pivotal role in the American Revolution. Why don't you tell people a little bit about Lafayette?
Sure, Conan, Andy.
Here we go.
He was a Frenchman. He was a teenager, 19 years old. He's an aristocrat. He's an orphan. He's the richest orphan in France. But he has these ideals about the Enlightenment, and also the British murdered his dad in a previous war, so he has a bone to pick with them.
Right.
So he comes over, he volunteers with George Washington, and even though he's this kid, and this really fancy French kid, he just like rolls up his sleeves and like, you know, gets in there, and he's wounded at the Battle of Brandywine, but like he's just raring to get back to the front. Like he, you know, gets out of his hospital bed and wraps his bum leg in a blanket and rides back to the front, which is like the first and maybe the last time in history a Frenchman like cut short his rest and recuperation. So like, get back to work, you know?
So I'm just curious, like, all right, so you write about this guy, and what's interesting about Lafayette is George Washington's everybody's idol in the Revolution. Everybody idolizes this guy, and George Washington is not, you know, but he's hard to get to know. He's kind of aloof, and he loves
like Andy, kind of, you know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, no, not like Andy at all.
This is the wooden teeth.
Yeah, Andy has wooden teeth.
Yeah.
But Lafayette is this teenage French rich kid who becomes Washington's Washington loves this guy. Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, for one thing, Washington didn't have any kids, and Lafayette was an orphan, so they kind of, you know, served that function. I don't know about psychology too much, but there was that bond. But also, like, at the time, like, Washington, there was this whole conspiracy amongst the Congress and some other people in the army to fire George Washington, you know? And Lafayette is just on his side and just, like, backs him up the whole way. And I think, like, Washington appreciated his affection and his respect and, you know,
Sure.
being like he had someone in his corner, like Andy.
Yeah, like Andy.
Andy.
No,
really,
is Andy George Washington now or Lafayette?
I mean, Andy works in any situation.
Yeah,
okay.
Like,
Right.
you know.
I am the richest French orphan today.
Yeah. You know what's, you think there's a holiday message in your Lafayette book? Wouldn't that be nice if there was a holiday message here because the holiday's coming up? Wouldn't that be nice?
It was winter of 1777, right before Christmas. And the Continental Army are going to their winter quarters at Valley Forge. They don't have shoes. There's snow on the ground. They have to march like 20 miles in the snow. They're basically naked, you know. These are like guys who are trying to fight people called the Red Coats, and they don't even have shirts, you know. And they get there, there's no food, there's no water. They have to build their own huts, and like because they don't have shoes, they get frostbite. Some of them have to have their like limbs amputated. So like if your Christmas maybe isn't going well, like maybe the turkey is dry or you didn't get the gift you wanted, I think you should look down and you like, do you have feet?
Yep.
Or do you have shoes? Well, at Valley Forge, that's what we call a Merry Christmas. You know?
I think that's a nice message.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.